But let's now talk about how all of these overnight cues really impact our own markets and what we should watch out for in terms of cues as well as individual stocks. So we have Vivek as well as Surbi joining us now to prep us up for this trading session. Guys, a very good morning to both of you. Vivek, let me come to you first. We were discussing the global picture, which really continues to dominate.
Well, you're absolutely right. And as you mentioned, when you're talking about especially the US markets, the actual end figures don't quite paint the picture as to the kind of volatility that, US indices saw yesterday. While, the Dow Jones ended lower for the first straight session, Nasdaq actually managed to stage quite smart recovery and ended with minor gains. However, it was the US banking stocks that actually saw quite a bit of intense selling pressure, and that will continue to dominate the headlines. On the back of that, you also saw European stocks. Handover from Europe is extremely weak. Most of the European indices are down between 2.5 to almost 3.2%. Brent futures as well as crude oil prices are continue to fall lower actually. So Brent futures down almost 2.4%, closer to the $80.7 a barrel. WTI futures down 2.5% at $72.3 a barrel. Now, Indian markets yesterday, actually saw very big selling pressure from the top. So when you're talking about the Indian markets, actually ended at a 5-month low. And what dominated was the India VIX. India VIX volatility clearly spiking up almost 20% higher in yesterday's trading session. Consumer inflation data, again, something that markets will react to, coming at 6.4%, above the targeted inflation band. And when you're talking about today, also seeing one important listing of Divgi stock transfer system, in this volatile market, be interesting to see how it makes its debut. Lastly, Asian markets very mixed, but weak overall. SGX Nifty, surprisingly, is indicating a mildly positive start for our own markets.
Mildly positive start, but we all saw what played out yesterday, right, after that positive start. Vivek, thanks a lot for taking us through all of those cues. But let's also talk about the individual stocks that could be in focus in today's trading session. And Surbi is here to fill us in with the list. Surbi.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for that. So I have a few stocks that are on my radar today. The first one is GAIL, where the company declares an interim dividend of ₹4 per equity share. Now, based on the current shareholding, the Government of India will receive a dividend of 1355 crores and the remaining shareholders will receive a dividend of 1275 crores. Next is Lupin, where US FDA completes inspection of its bioresearch center in Pune with 0 observations. Krishna Diagnostics, the company has operationalized 100 more pathology collection centers under its contract with BMC. Now, with this, the company has operationalized a total of 300 pathology collection centers. Next is Tube Investments of India. The company has entered into an agreement with Mr. N. Govindarajan to incorporate a subsidiary for pursuing the CDMO business. Tube Investments will be investing a total of 285 crores in the form of equity and preference shares. And lastly, Credit Access Grameen, where the NBFC saw its assets under management cross 20,000 crores when compared to 17,786 crores as of December 31st, 2022.
All right, Surbi, thanks a lot for that entire list of stocks. But remember, we were alerting you that it was a very weak session on Monday for our own markets. We saw the key indices breaking below all-time support levels as well. So the Nifty broke below the recent low of 17,255. It was actually a full 100 points below that level as well. The Nifty Bank fell below its 200-day exponential moving average as well of 40,080. It closed below the 40,000 mark. FIIs, remember, just to fill you in with the action over there, sold 1547 crores in the cash market, while the DIIs bought 1418 crores. But remember, there have been, a couple of large block deals. That is why you're seeing these figures. So do keep that in mind as well. In terms of the index futures, FII sold 620 crores. So their long exposure still stands at a weak 16%, with 84% of their contracts on the short side. And also ahead of the Fin Nifty expiry, FI has also sold 8,011 crore worth of index options. Active options included the 17,300 and 17,200 calls. We saw a lot of writing, and put writers covered their positions at 17,400, 17,300 and 17,250 levels as well. Remember, Nifty's put call ratio now stands at 0.71 versus the earlier 0.89. So those are some important cues that you should watch from a futures and options market standpoint. But with that, we do need to get into a short break on the show. On the other side, like we were telling you, inflation remains stubbornly